All right, welcome back. It's 20 minutes before 9 o'clock here on Morning Live. Now, the National Advisory Council on Innovation, NACI, has launched the 2016 STI Indicators Report and the National Science, Technology and Innovation Information Portal. This is an annual publication produced by NACI. The report provides an overview of the contribution of STI as an enabler of economic growth and development. The report, on the other hand, focuses on the sustainability of the country's innovation capability in the face of the fourth industrial revolution. But to discuss these initiatives, we're joined by Dr. Mlungisi, who is acting CEO of the National Advisory Council on Innovation, and he joins us live from our studios in Sea Point. With me here in Johannesburg is Dr. Azar Jamin, and he is NACI Councillor member. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen, and thank you so much for coming through.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cele. Let's start with you. Talk to us about the significance of this portal.
Thank you very much, Palisa. The significance of the portal is that it is intended to help us as South Africa to monitor and evaluate various government initiatives that are intended to bring about change through science, technology, and innovation. And this is the tool that will help us to collect data, to store it, and create access to other data sources so that people who are interested to know how are we doing as a country in respect of science, technology, and innovation can be able to access it. It can be used by policymakers, the information can be used by university researchers, ordinary people, non-governmental organizations, and so forth. So that's the significant about it. It's a tool that South Africa needs to be better able to know whether its investment in STI is yielding the desired outcomes and impacts.
Yeah, but what's the current state of affairs now? Are we not able to view it, or is it not easily accessible?
Well, we have just completed phase 1, which is the pilot phase, and last week we launched it publicly. People can now be able to access the website. There are still features that are going to be developed as we move into the new or the second phase. So the information that's currently available is, it's limited, but quite or can be utilized for a variety of purposes if people want to use it. But there's also a provision for different role players to communicate, to engage on any critical matter related to STI. It's available and can be accessed by everyone in South Africa.
All right, let me just bring Dr. Jamin into the conversation, and let us start by looking at the key findings from the indicators report.
There are several findings with regard to our progress on science, technology and innovation. Some of them are negative, others are positive. On the negative front, obviously, is the highlight of the very low level of throughput at our schools, especially in terms of success in mathematics and physical science. But what we do see is an improvement in the level of graduates in science, technology and innovation. And in particular, one sees that the publications being issued at our universities in science, technology and innovation are actually very prominent in relation to most other developing countries. We punch well above our weight from that point of view. The real problem is that as good as we are in terms of publications, we do not actually see that being translated into as successful an outcome in the real work of science, technology and innovation that we would like to see. And that in turn renders us highly dependent on other countries to make the products that we really need, and it results in our current account deficit being substantial compared with other countries. We are just not making enough and innovating enough ourselves compared with other countries. And yet there is a lot of hope, because the uptake of mobile telephony and internet in South Africa is proportionately far greater than in most other countries. What we need to do somehow is to manage to apply that comparative advantage to the benefit, benefit in terms of educating people and getting them to innovate more and more.
But what happens with the report now in terms of policymakers?
Well, the report is available. It's an annual report. We try to change the statistics that are incorporated into the report in certain ways from year to year. And basically, policymakers now have a booklet that has a lot of valuable information available to refer to actually see where the strengths and where the weaknesses are in terms of that.
But Dr. Cele, with the previous reports, have we seen policymakers, government, for example, considering the findings of such reports?
Yes, there have been some uptake of recommendations or aspects emanating from the report, and we are quite happy with that, including this one that Dr. Jameen was just sharing its results. It's going to go to Cabinet in the next few weeks in a form of a Cabinet memorandum with clear set of recommendations and areas of policy improvement which we think government would be able to consider and use to improve various aspects of government policies. Because, Palisa, the one point one needs to emphasize is that the Statistician General has made a point about how education can be used to address the triple challenge of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. This report reinforces that point. But in addition to education, innovation and ICTs, as Dr. Jameen was indicating, we have huge potential as a country if we were to exploit those two to really tackle the economic and social challenges that our country is facing. We need to mobilize all sectors, especially business, to invest in research and development and innovation. But finally, to make sure that innovation is understood, not only in terms of the technological dimension, but that innovation can be used in improving public service, in making sure that social issues that are confronting our society are addressed through various engagements.
Yeah, Dr. Cele makes mention of a very important point when the Stats SA released the poverty levels, indicating that the only way out of poverty for South Africans is through education. And I'm looking at the reports that the proportion of matric female learners passing mathematics and science with at least 60% has been declining from 2008 to 2016. So this is worrying. If we want to see innovation and technology and the stats are this worrying, then it means there's a problem.
It means that there's a problem. It means that there is a potential shortage of skills in this country to actually do some of the cognitive and scientific work that is required for the country to be able to produce goods and services itself, and not to be dependent on other countries to do that.
So what needs to be done going forward? Does it start at school?
It starts in early childhood development, actually. And although the Department of Basic Education has identified this as a critical factor in the past, we have not yet been able to succeed in developing our educational system at school level sufficiently. And there are many reasons for that that would take a long time to explain.
Yeah, and contrary to that, we're seeing that at a postgraduate level, the proportion of science, engineering, and technology enrollment as a percentage of total student enrollments has actually gone up.
That is encouraging, and it does show that we are succeeding in a certain level, but it's not general enough to actually make a huge difference. We have pockets of excellence in this country, but we cannot continue relying on those pockets of excellence to supply all the country's needs in science, technology, and innovation.
All right, now we'll leave it at that. Dr. Cele, how do our viewers get hold of this information, the website maybe, and the information on the portal?
Well, they can go through our website, which is www.naci.ac.za, or they can go through the DST website and they can be able to access the information.
All right, we'll leave it at that, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming through. Dr. Mlungisi Cele is the acting CEO of the National Advisory Council on Innovation, joining us live from our studios in Seapoint. Thank you so much, Dr. Cele, and thank you so much to Dr. Jameen, joining us from our studios here in Johannesburg. He is a NACI Council member.